Hi, this is Bobby Cobb. I'm a board member of the Adams Center. And on the line with me or on the Zoom today, I've got Lorna Ruckle. Yesterday, we were having our monthly board meeting, and Lorna said, I've got an idea that I'd like to share with you guys. So she came in and previewed the idea with us, and immediately it was like the whole energy of the room just shifted because this idea is so cool and so right for us that I said, hey, how would you feel about jumping on a Zoom call? So, Lorna, let me kind of just turn it over to you. And if you would share what the idea that you have for our community and for our center is.
Right. So I think most of you guys are familiar with me. I've been in Anchorage in Alaska for a long time. So the space I originally, I started renting the massage room there, and I just, was noticing this large green patch of lawn that's perfectly level and well fenced, and has all this traffic going by it. It's a very busy intersection. Um, and so I immediately, being the gardener that I am, wanted to turn it into a garden. And I also am part of Seeds of Change and the Stellar Secondary School in Spenard there, and a couple other different school garden programs. And so I volunteer time and equipment and supplies to different gardens around the schools in high risk areas.
Mm.
So that's something that I'm into, and I just love doing it. It just brings me so much joy personally. And also there's layers and layers of this. I really am also very strong in my actions about giving Alaskans as much food independence as we can have and becoming as self-sustaining as possible
Yeah.
in regard to our food being shipped here and a lot of our goods being shipped here that don't really have to be if we had the ability to and the understanding and the infrastructure to be food independent, within our own land. And I guess
Yeah.
piece,
And I think
and that's
it's such a cool idea because for people who have never been to the Adams Center before, to get to us, you go through a kind of a light industrial complex. It's not heavy
right,
machinery, but you get there, you go down to the end of the street, you take a right around the corner, and you already feel like you're kind of entering a little bit of a different world. Definitely, as soon as you enter the building, the
right,
energy there is very different. You forget almost immediately that you're in an industrial park.
right,
And I think having
exactly,
that garden, particularly the way that you highlighted it, our kind of longer term vision of what that may turn into with the idea of a Zen garden and a centered focus and a little meditation ring that we could
right.
potentially use. We may or may not do that with the traffic out there. It's really
Yeah,
exciting. Yeah.
that's a Zen, a somewhat similar to a Zen design for a community garden, a Zen community garden. So that circle in the center is a circular bench, is as good as we can get a circle, but a circular bench seat. And in the center is our flowers and herbs, so that we're all facing each other and speaking over and communicating over um, our plants, our flowers, and our herbs that we're going to use in our food. So it's it keeps this continual cycle and circle energy going.
Yeah. And we're kind of
And it's
thinking of,
also, I have a lot of stuff. Like, I've been working on my house as well, and I live in Bear Valley. So it's a challenge to garden at 1,600 feet elevation for me. And also, I have a lot of supplies, leftover building supplies that could pretty quickly, we could at least start a first line along the fence or something like that this summer, and still have some good vegetables and salad greens and things like that that we could harvest.
Yeah, so we're kind of thinking about it in two phases because, we are getting this started sort of late in the Alaska growing
In
season
the
here.
Alaskan summer. Yeah.
But yeah, but there are some things that we can grow and that we will be able to harvest this year, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that if we pull enough people together moving the wood and supplies from my place down and building the boxes could be, a day or two. Um, there's a few things I need to get, like the PVC pipe and the rebar to cover the beds. For one, it's wind, and for two, it'll extend our season and protect our stuff, our plants. I have quite a few tomatoes to put down there and some basil and some squash. So it'll be small this first year. Um, but that's, the herbs and the salad greens, and I've got some things going to where we can another round of sprouts going so that we'll have a couple layers of harvest. By hoop bedding and using the cold frames, we'll be able to harvest into September, October. Um, so I might be as brave to plant some more onions.
Oh,
So I
that's
think we'll
so
have some
cool.
good onions as well.
Well, for anybody that's out there that is interested in either participating in the garden, it's we are a completely volunteer organization. There's initially going to be some lifting to get some of these supplies down from Lorna's place up in Bear Valley down to our center,
Mhm.
which is located at Diamond and not Diamond. I'm sorry, Dowling,
C
Dowling
Street
and
and
C Street,
Arctic,
and
Dowling and
and
C.
and and with the building. So if
6,000
you'd like to
Dowling,
be involved,
C
just
Street.
either send us a message on the Facebook group where you're seeing this video, or make a comment in the thing below, and we'll be talking and posting about some volunteer opportunities and posting the progress of the garden as it goes.
Yeah,
So,
calling this um, I've got a couple different themes going here in my mind. I've got the green team, and I've got what was the other one? Food for the mind.
ooh, I like it.
So I'd like to really, a lot of this is about intentional living, and um, there's a whole piece that I teach to the schools about seasonal affective disorder and how planting and having a garden in your home and a little grow light actually will, if you won't get seasonal affective disorder, you won't get as depressed in the winter, you'll produce more vitamin D. So there's all these aspects of this that I want to dive into. Um, so yeah, there's a whole lot, so many layers of this,
Yeah,
and where it keys around intentional living and independence, and empowering us on a micro level, and empowering these small little micro communities to, I mean, these schools, the students thought the tomatoes were apples. They yanked the green tomato off the vine and bit into it because they thought it was an apple. That's how disconnected these children are.
yeah,
So it's really mind blowing for me, um, where with these students I'm having to go way back to the very beginning with food, like identifying things and knowing what things are, and going way back to the beginning, and also keeping that big picture in mind of we start with Adam and plant the seeds here. That traffic out front, just having the flowers in the garden and a picnic table, if that's all we do this year, it's going to attract a lot more flow and attention and energy to this center. And
yeah.
and I'm really wanting to kind of open up, and most people my age in their 40s and 30s have never heard of Adam. And so I really want to, um, the community needs meditation. It needs mindfulness. It
Yeah.
needs this so much more now than ever. So I really see this flow of energy you have with this intersection that Adam has in front of them, and the consciousness in that area could easily quickly be lifted with plants.
Well, and we're
No
going to make it
politics,
happen thanks to your
no,
initiative. So we're
no,
super
nothing.
grateful.
And that's what I love about gardening is
Yeah.
everybody shows up to garden.
Yeah.
Um, and it's a free political zone and everybody shows up. Everybody wants to eat. And so it's a very, I don't know how to whole place. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's few things that
So if
I've
you have any other
found.
questions,
Yeah. I was going to say there's few things that I've found that are as grounding as getting down there and digging in the soil and planting things and, just going through the whole process of planting the seed and knowing that nature's got to take its course and watching the beauty of that unfold. It really is a magical grounding and mindful experience, as you said. So one other thing, Lorna is going
it
to be a
is.
speaker in the next month or so to be talking about intentional grounding and the Seeds to Change movement and some of the work that she's doing. So if you're interested in exploring that part of it more deeply, that opportunity
Yeah.
will present itself as well. So Lorna, man, thanks so much for making
Awesome.
some time today. Glad that
Yeah.
you,
Thanks for having me. I'm glad it worked out.
yeah, me too. And we will talk again soon.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And
everybody
so
that's
let's,
tuning.
we'll get together and talk real soon about picking a day to move all that wood down
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
building materials. We'll pick a day. I have a tiny truck. So my truck's a small truck, but it'll do it.
Yeah. Well, we've got a couple of big trucks in the community as well. So I'm sure we'll be able to rally to get
Oh,
it
cool.
done.
Awesome.
So I'm pumped. Thanks for making the time again, Lorna.
Nice. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm on a mission. I'm out here on the Turnagain Arm.
Woohoo!
There were some belugas popped up while we talked, so that's
Oh,
nice.
awesome.
I'm gonna go see my kids.
Okay. Well, have an awesome
All
day.
right.
Thanks
Well,
again
thank
for
you so
making the
much.
time, and we'll talk soon.
Many blessings, everyone.
Bye-bye, everybody.